So we're already a couple of weeks into Season 2 of Halo Infinite, and I'm just not feeling it. It's simply not good enough, and thankfully 343 understands it's not good enough. But a question I get asked quite a lot is, what can Halo Infinite do? What can it add back to save the community? What can it add to bolster its population? If you remember, Halo Infinite was really big at launch. Now, obviously, these things, they do lose their players after a while. You know, not everybody is going to stick with the game. Most people are trying it out of curiosity since it's free. But I think it's safe to say that a majority of the player base that did leave the game, it's not due to them just not being interested. I think it's due to foundational problems. At launch, I said that Halo Infinite was a solid foundation to build upon, and as time has gone on and 343 has struggled to not just fix their game, but add content and even add back content previous games shipped with, I regret saying that it was a strong foundation. Because for it to be a strong foundation, there has to be one to begin with. What Halo Infinite is it's a series of tools as well as building equipment and supplies, but there's no foundation. Someone forgot to lay down the foundation. Now we're all sitting around with these tools and all of these supplies and things that, well, we can't really do much with because we're waiting for the foundation to get finished. Because the guy in charge of that overslept. Here comes the segue, I'm really proud of it. He probably missed breakfast too, and you know what I bet would have helped him out? Saving humanity while on an empty stomach is pretty hard work. Thankfully, with today's sponsor, HelloFresh, that won't be a problem. Ever since I moved into my new place, planning dinner each day has been a pain. HelloFresh has relieved so much stress from my life. All I have to do is hop online, pick what I want, and then it's waiting at my door. And the best part is, there's not a lot of work for me to do. All I have to do is assemble the ingredients, and then I have something tasty for dinner. With HelloFresh, I have over 50 options to choose from. And the best part is all ingredients are pre-portioned, which means there's no waste. And the food comes out just right. There's a reason HelloFresh has more 5-star ratings than any other meal kit service in the industry. And thanks to the fact all ingredients are picked at peak seasonal ripeness, it allows the meals to have a seasonal flavor. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use the code POGLNG May 16 for up to 16 free meals, plus free appetizers, free desserts, and free premium recipes across 6 HelloFresh boxes, plus free shipping. So once again, that's POGLNG May 16. And a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring the video. What can Halo Infinite do to fix its player population issue and sustain players? Well, for one thing, it's not these live events. You can have all the best cosmetics you want, but if there's no foundation there to keep the player base, who cares? When we look towards Bungie titles like Halo 3, Halo Reach, games that were renowned for their ability to keep their player population. Halo Reach, which was the older game, was able to keep its player base around much longer than Halo 4 did. So let's talk about player customization. Whether you're a Spartan or an Elite, you can show yourself off all these armors that you got. And how did you get those armors? Well, you have a progression system. And I'm not talking about a shallow linear battle pass. What I'm talking about is a whole career where you can see how many headshots you've gotten, how many killing sprees, your various medals. You can track your stats across your time playing. And you can look at things that you can chase, whether it's completing the campaign on Legendary, or perhaps getting a really complicated kill in online, which unlocks you a special visor or something. A variety of ways to chase after cosmetics and show what kind of player you are. Those are things that Halo 3, Reach, and even Halo 4 did quite well. A progression system is key to that character customization. And when you want to show off the character that you've created, you do it in a wide variety of game modes. Things like Infection, or even weird off-brand sportsy stuff like Griffball, Race. Custom games allows those base game mode experiences like Infection to actually be used as a template to build new, more expansive, more interesting custom game modes. From Infection, you can jump over to Fat Kid, and Fat Kid has its own cult following. People loved that mode during Halo 3. And those custom game modes that are really fun, really addictive, you can enhance them by using the Forge tool to craft specialized arenas for them. And then once those arenas are crafted, or those maps, or those racetracks, or whatever, you can put them up on your file share where people can look them up and download them and enjoy them for themselves. Now, the key to getting a good custom game night going is to find people, and you can do that by setting your lobby to open so people can just join whenever they want, or you hop into matchmaking and you sit in the lobby, and as it's filling up, you turn on your mic and then you tell people about this cool custom game. And hey, maybe after this match-made game is over, y'all want to hop on over to customs? I can shoot you invites, and everyone agrees. A lobby system allows people to stay together. It allows people to be social. And when you look at the really successful Halo titles that were known for their player populations, their abilities to stay together, want to know what all those Halo games had in common? All of these systems launched with the game. They were inherently designed together, and they did their job. Halo Reach and Halo 3 hold some of the fondest memories for the community. It's not just about nostalgia, it's that at their core, they were excellent social console games. And that's why it's no surprise that Halo's infamously social reputation started to dip once 343 began releasing Halo games that slowly stripped out and removed features. Halo 4's custom games and Forge tool were a bit of a downgrade from Reach's. 5 didn't even launch with a Forge tool, split screen, or a lobby system, and even though it eventually got its Forge tool as well as a pretty good file browser, that lobby system never arrived. Now we're sitting at Halo Infinite, a game so unfinished, it didn't even launch with a progression system. Now, if we look at the actual release cycle for Halo Infinite, 343 is honestly struggling to keep up with player demand as well as getting back in things that Bungie Halo titles were able to ship with at launch. And part of that I do think is due to just how unstable Halo Infinite is as a game. You know what I'm talking about. You can feel it. It's the way the menu chugs when you're trying to do simple things like cycle through different screens. The Halo Infinite UI is a mess. It's got a lot of problems, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of reworking is being done behind the scenes. In my opinion, what Halo Infinite needs more than just releasing Infection now, and then maybe Forge 3 months from now, and then maybe a working file share and custom games browser a year from now. What it needs to do is have a full relaunch of the game. Because I think if 343 opts to drip feed these fragmented, segmented pieces of the Halo social foundation, it's not going to do its job and bring back players. It's just going to make them feel underwhelmed because they won't be able to appreciate what all of these systems do when they're working in concert with each other. Jimmy420 on Xbox Live, his favorite game mode in Halo was Fat Kid in Halo 3. He doesn't like Forge. He's never liked it. Just like Fat Kid. Fat Kid was made using the Infection game type, custom games, file share, and Forge. Now, if 343 releases Forge in 3 months, why would Jimmy420 hop into the game? Jimmy420 doesn't realize what all of these systems do when they work together. They were responsible for providing him with that Fat Kid experience. If 343 just releases Forge and then says, you know what, file share, a year from now, it'll be fine. Jimmy420 is a player they lost. He's not coming back. Now, if 343 instead opts to maybe hold things back, reevaluate this drip-feeding content life cycle, and bundles all of it together alongside a UI refresh, maybe even change the box art of Halo Infinite on the Xbox Store to kind of like scrub away the bad memories of the launch, well then, Jimmy420 hears, hey, did you hear they're relaunching Halo Infinite? A Halo Infinite 2.0? He opens up the game, he's greeted with a more stable UI. There's all of these file share systems, there's a lobby now for players to gather together, Forge, custom games are working, and you know what? It's very easy for him to find players and get a Fat Kid custom games lobby going. That would bring Jimmy420 back. If 343 opts to just drip feed the social foundation back into Halo Infinite bit by bit, months at a time, it's not gonna wow people. I think what Halo Infinite needs is a Halo Infinite 2.0 relaunch, a Halo Infinite Next update. But those are just my opinions. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. It's tough to love Halo, and it's even tougher when Halo is constantly making mistakes that it has already made in the past and probably should have learned from. But at the core of a lot of our anger and my own frustrations and lack of patience is a love for Halo. We remember when Halo was at its best, when it was held in high regard, and we desperately, badly want Halo back. The reason we're criticizing Halo is not because we're trying to tear it down, it's because we're so disappointed, because we know it can be better. We've seen it be better. What people mistake for nitpicking is us criticizing a lack of effort, a lack of enthusiasm that it once had, that vigor, that pep in its step. We know that it used to have it, and we want to see it back. And Halo can get there. It's going to require some tough love. It's going to require some criticism. Now, it's important that that criticism doesn't get toxic, but hopefully those of you who are mature understand the difference between harassment and criticism. Now, with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys to the rest of your day. I'm going to get started on my next video, and I hope you all have a good evening. Or morning, whenever you watch this. Whatever, man. I'm leaving.